Yes, I had one brief instance of leaving the room. I think it kind of reached a point where she realized that our question game was going a little nowhere, and we were going a little too fast, I guess. And so she decided I needed a break, and she led me to what looked like a hallway, and in the hallway there was what looked like a window. But I'm not 100% sure it was a window. To me it looked more like if you had a projector and you projected an image excuse me, if you projected an image onto like a flat surface, like a movie screen, and placed it on the wall and said, "That's the window." I mean, it wasn't didn't have that fluttery look. It was 100% smooth, and I could stand in front of it without blocking any of the image. And it was pretty darn clear, but for some reason, even though I didn't touch it, even when I was close to it, I could just sense that it wasn't an actual hole in the wall, so to say. I looked through that window and I saw everything I wanted. I saw everything that I ever wanted to see. Ever since I was a little kid, I never wanted to be a fireman or a policeman or a businessman. I never had dreams of growing up. I had dreams of outer space and a future I knew I'd never live to see. I'd seen movies, I'd seen pictures, I'd read books, and the only thing I ever wanted was to look out upon the cityscape of the future. And I saw that. I looked into that. I looked through that window, and it was the greatest feeling of my life. I don't know how long I stared there. And I don't know if she was looking at me or if she even stayed there with me. I just looked out at that window, and it was everything I ever wanted. This was the future. I had seen it. It was everything I wanted it to be. I looked out and I saw this white building. It's kind of like a flute with the mouthpiece kind of like sloping up on the right side, which I can assume was maybe an antenna, but the white and the city is built in circles and very minimalistic, yet still just there. And I don't know if it was a monorail or something. It was kind of like that. We were really high up, and it just went on, but it wasn't like looking down at ants. It was like looking down at you couldn't really see people in the streets, and you couldn't see individual cars or anything. There wasn't congestion. There wasn't. It was a sense that there was nothing there that didn't need to be there. I'm gonna be excuse me, I'm gonna be perfectly honest and say that I would really like to talk to a female, if you don't mind. It's not you. You're just doing your job, but my entire life I've just always related to the female gender. I guess I've always been in touch with my feminine side ever since I was little. I noticed this. I've never been, gay or anything. I just discovered that I was an emotional person, and especially something like this, it would make me feel more comfortable / stable to talk with a female, if we can do that. Thanks. It's not you or anything. It's just. Hi, how are you doing? I wouldn't say it's a warning. Because it can't be, even if it was, if that makes sense. I guess it's more of a, it can't really be a dilemma either. It's more like an internal struggle. Like I told your co-worker there, he was raised to believe that there's good in people. I wasn't raised. I'm not a religious man, so to say. I was raised that way, but I don't consider myself a religious man now. I'm kind of indifferent. I believe the subject, it's there, but I don't think we need to discuss it in this lifetime. We don't know the answer. We'll find out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I guess you could say my faith is derived from people, in that for a God to exist, good must exist, and one can't exist without the other. So that it's kind of intertwined, and I have to assume that with this logic comes the fact that if there is a God, he has to be more logical thinking and a more reasonable entity than I am. So that's the way I live my life. It's the way I get from day to day. Different people have different ways they can get out of bed without screaming or going insane. That being said, I never believed that God interferes with anything that man does. I think we both kind of just do our own separate things. We kind of got something, and now we're supposed to do what we can with it. I've always believed this to be the situation, and I've always been in the inside looking out, and not vice versa. But with what has happened, I kind of feel like I'm on the outside looking in.